Hi guys, so I want to get right down to business and ask, do you even watch the news? Do you read news articles? Or do you just like skim news headlines, read maybe one or two articles a week to make sure you know what's going on in the world and move on with your life? Because I think that's probably where most of you are at. That's where I'm at now, even with my job and my business. Because news reporting, articles, the broadcasting, it's soul sucking. It takes so much energy out of you. And they're like just throwing opinions and narrative at you all the time. You might not notice, but you can't find out what's going on without running into these opinions and narrative and like telling you what you should or might think about a certain situation. It's really exhausting. And I get that. I also think that that's really wrong because news organizations exist. Their sole purpose is to tell you what's going on in the world. You are their customer. They serve you, but they've been using you. They use your emotions. They do clickbait headlines. They find the most dramatic and most compelling or exciting story and they put that on the front page or they push that the most because that gets the most viewership. It gets the most ratings, like on the TV ratings, and it gets the most traffic to their websites because they get ad revenue. I read ad revenue on TV and on websites. So there is no system in place for them to remember or think or realize that they serve you. And maybe some of you have watched my videos and think that I'm telling you that they're pushing a narrative because they have this agenda. Some of them do, some of them might have an agenda. But I think the real culprit is that the system is not designed for them to keep you in mind. And so what I'm doing with the NeoZeno app is introducing a cog, per se, into that system so that you are a contributor, that you are a valued customer, that you are a valued part of news reporting. That's their purpose. The NeoZeno app allows you to rate news articles and give a consumer rating, a consumer report to back to journalists and back to news publications. So a common question I have when I'm pitching this app is, how will these ratings even work? How will you pressure journalists to improve their standards? Well, I think the credibility rating by itself will. I think having a user report, just like you rate your Amazon purchase, will affect whether someone else buys that item, or if you rate a local restaurant, it affects how someone might, it affects whether someone might go to that restaurant. And user ratings are very, very powerful in the business industry, in every industry, but it doesn't exist in the news industry. So that's what I want to introduce. The second most common question I get when I talk about my app is, how do I account for user bias, customer bias, and how that might affect these credibility ratings? Well, because our system is based on averages, I don't think that the customer needs to curb their bias. I think that it's okay for someone who's right-leaning to rate an article that is super left, or in their opinion, and then someone who's left-leaning comes around and rates that article as neutral and unbiased. I think that that is part of the system of averages, and as long as we have a wide user base, which is the challenge for us, to make sure we have a wide user base, to get enough people on board using these ratings to make them credible, a good picture snapshot of the customer's opinion on news articles and publications and journalists, that will average out and bias from the customer's end will not be a problem. We are throwing around some other ideas, like a self-acknowledged bias. You can like maybe say that you're right-leaning or left-leaning. Those are in just think tank ideas right now to help us get to a point where we do have this well-rounded out user base. So that's what I have to say about curbing user bias. I think that it's not a big problem as long as you understand the system and how it works. I think that it's great that everybody has has different ideas, and we want to leverage that and use that to give this overall credibility score rating. I don't think that people really should try to curb their bias. I think that it's unrealistic for that, even though I do think that you can, and I hope that this allows you to realize your bias doing these rating system. I just hope that everybody gets to more of a reasonable space where when consuming news and reporting on news and journalists and all that stuff. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I hope I answered some questions. I hope you understand better why this app means so much to me and how much I think it will affect the world if we just simply introduce consumer ratings for news. So if you like the idea, please go to our Kickstarter. We are at 10% funded. We only have 14 days left. So please go and pledge if you like the idea and share this with everybody. I want to let you know also, because I didn't know this, if you make a pledge, your card does not get charged until the end on May 8th, and only if we make our goal of $10,000. So please share. It will literally cost you nothing right now. And if we make our goal, you should be excited, because you shouldn't be pledging unless you're excited. If we make our goal, you should be excited to contribute to this app. I hope that you feel the same way. I hope that you understand the app better, and have a great day, everybody. Bye.